To the late Honorable Now's children and family, please accept my heartfelt condolences as we join in mourning a great patron whose life and service is rich.
The political heat in Ukambani reached a new high after a dramatic scene in MAKUENI that left President William Ruto's team exposed and visibly shaken. What was meant to be a respectful moment at the burial of former Minister Joseph MUNYAO turned into a loud and public rejection of President's message. Labour CS ALFRED MUTUA, who had been sent to read the President's speech, walked straight into a storm of hostility that only grew worse with every passing minute.
We have to end this culture of violence. Siasa, wacha niwaambie wacha niwaambie. Unaona hao wanapigana hapa. Wanapigana hapa kwa sababu usiku wanaongea na simu. Nyinyi mnachimbana hapa, kesho yake unaona wamefanya handshake wanakuwa pamoja. Nyinyi mmeumia hapa. Sawa lakini nasema
From the moment MUTUA stood up, the mood in the crowd shifted. Many in the audience had already been restless, but the tension became undeniable once he unfolded the president's written message. Instead of silence and attention, the CS was met with a wall of noise. People began shouting him down, drowning his voice, refusing to let him move through the speech at a normal pace. The rejection was not subtle. It was loud, raw, and completely unfiltered.
Please accept my heartfelt condolences as we join in mourning a great patron whose life and service is rich.
MUTUA tried to press on, but with every paragraph the heckling got sharper. The crowd wanted nothing to do with anything that represented status. Angry chants rose above the sound system, forcing the CS to rush through sections of the speech. The event quickly lost any sense of dignity as the interruptions grew harsher. At one point, the atmosphere felt volatile enough that those around the podium became visibly uneasy.
Before I read this, I'd like to say that I totally agree with the sentiments that have been put here about violence kwa wakati wa kura.
Chants of Ruto must go and similar slogans rang across the venue. The message was crystal clear. The people in attendance were no longer willing to entertain speeches from the president's emissaries. It was an open revolt, delivered right in front of top political figures including Kalonzo and EUGENE WAMALWA, both of whom watched as MUTUA struggled to stay afloat.
Kenya has lost a selfless leader.
The CS attempted to counter the heckling by turning his speech into attack against the opposition, trying to paint Kalonzo and his allies in a negative light, but the crowd refused to play along. Every attempt to throw shade at the opposition only made the heckling louder. The people were in no mood to absorb a political lecture from a government they feel has abandoned them.
Kazi inaendelea. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Kalonzo kwa kutuambia kwamba mimi na mweke hati mambo ikiumana tukupigie simu, hata tutakuambia mambo ikiumana na vijana wengine pia tuongeleshe.
Embarrassment covered the faces of government supporters as it became clear MUTUA was not going to win back the moment. The rejection did not stop, it only tightened. People stood up, waved their hands dismissively, and demanded that he leaves the podium. By the time he concluded the final lines, he was partially racing through the message, eager to escape the rising temperature around him.
So we are so happy they brought out their very worst in this region by elections. We now know their game plan. There are no other games to play. And this country cannot be like any other country. Our brother, senior brother.
Then came the turning point. Once MUTUA stepped aside and Kalonzo rose to speak, the energy in the venue flipped instantly. The same crowd that had rejected Ruto's message erupted in cheers. People clapped, whispered, and even moved closer to the front. The difference was staggering. Where MUTUA had faced a hostile wall, Kalonzo received warmth and approval from the same audience. It was the clearest evidence that Ukambani's political mood is shifting fast and decisively.
Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, leader. Wiper patriotic.
To observers, this moment was bigger than MUTUA's humiliation. It was a public verdict on the president's relationship with the region. The loud hostility was a signal that Ruto's support in Ukambani is sleeping, and sleeping fast. No amount of damage control from State House can erase what happened in MAKUENI. The image and reactions from the event spoke for themselves.
Professor said the students are telling him they don't want Kenya to be like Tanzania. Kenya will always be Kenya. Because our young people have an inspired progressive revolution, not even in the continent, but the world over.
Inside political circles, word is that State House operatives were left stunned by the raw rejection. This was not the usual grumbling heard during political rallies. This was full-blown anger expressed at a funeral, an event where people normally keep politics restrained. For the crowd to go that far in such a setting showed how deep the dissatisfaction has grown.
You know, we have to end this culture of violence. Siasa, wacha niwaambie watu niwaambie. Unaona hawa wanapigana hapa. Wanapigana hapa kwa microphone, usiku wanaongea na simu. Ninyi mnachimbana hapa, kesho yake unaona wamefanya handshake.
Ruto's allies have been working overtime to gain ground in Ukambani, but the MAKUENI drama exposed just how deep the climb has become. The audience did not just disagree with him, they dismissed him outright. They dismissed his message, his messenger, and his attempt at political outreach. ALFRED MUTUA, once a dominant figure in the region, walked away from the burial visibly shaken. His home turf had rejected him in full glare of cameras and political rivals. For Kalonzo, the event served as a fresh reminder that he still holds firm control of Ukambani's political soul. For Ruto, it was a warning shot that the region is slipping out of reach.
Please accept my heartfelt condolences and we join in mourning a great patriot whose life and service.
What happened in MAKUENI was not a minor embarrassment. It was a clear political statement. Ukambani sent a message straight to State House, and it was delivered loudly, sharply, and without hesitation.
To the late Honorable Now children and families, please accept my heartfelt condolences as we join in mourning a great patriot whose life and service is restoration and ways. To the death of Honorable Now, Kenya has lost a selfless leader.
Eulogy tears. Eulogy they are made stop it. Hata biala mekuya nimame ukia kiwa. Sulela indo dida zona dongo misme dizetu misme. No he did was right. Yeah. Now you get tolerance may breed their violence.